Hi all, welcome back to more Normandy, the beginning and the end, using the Alone in the Storm solo expansion, playing scenario 1, patrol in the front. This is my part 13. So, the day after last night, I know it ended up being a bit of a short part. I think I might have been a bit slurry last night, so I haven't watched it back yet, but so I haven't got an awful lot of time today, and I won't be back tonight either, but yeah, I got a couple of days off after that as well, so but see if I can squeeze a part in here. Not sure, but we should get this turn finished at least. Okay, so I popped out a question there regarding John's theory on the intel markers being able to be identified with the first process, as in multiple intel markers could be identified. And if you do look at it, read it in the rules, if you read the proper bit, like I didn't at first, that he was talking about, it does seem to be that should be allowed. However, is that intention or not? Well, I said at first that I didn't think it was the intention, but reading it again, it's quite possible that it is. So anyway, I popped a question out there, but yeah, no answer as of yet. Whether we'll maybe get the designer of this game popping along at some point and checking out the 2 or 3 questions I've got out there, and then if he does answer them, hopefully then he might stay switched on, because I'm sure I might have more to come. But well, we can only hope for that. Not really getting any input from anybody else, just that one guy talking about but in my opinion, I don't think he's right in what he was saying there, because it clearly says in the rules that you put the activity level markers on. Anyway, right, so, and I left things last night. We've got a little blue cube. This is the last company to activate, so obviously there's no priority check. It's company Bravo from the Panzer Grenadier motorized, I think. Motorized Panzer Grenadiers. So, yeah, and I was going to ask a question, because I thought, but it was a bit late last night, and then I thought maybe I should get up this morning and have a look at the rulebook again. Because my doubt was, how do you activate these? Because these don't have step losses, these do. They're all part of the same company. So how do you look at this chart and decide which one's which? So I was going to ask the question, and then I thought, well, let's just have a look back in the rules, because this surely is clear in the rules. Here's orders assignment rules, okay? And just skipping up to this bit here, I think this is where I read the bit that sort of tells me something at first. Yeah, first of all, determine orders assigned to each platoon in the company or to the entire company. So it's to each platoon in the company or to the entire company. It doesn't really tell you why that would be, why you would do it for the whole company and why you would do it not, but if we read through it, it is determinant on, I mean, if the company were all in the same state, then I think you could just do the activation for the whole company and not there be an issue. But it does talk about it for each platoon here. So then that got me thinking. I read on here, but I didn't think I found anything else. What I might do at work the day, if I've got a chance, is read over that section again. And then you've got executing orders priority rules. At this point, you have chosen one AI force to activate according to the activation priority rules. Next, you've assigned orders to each AI platoon, following the orders chart and the orders flow diagrams, marking the AI force with the movement, with the orders. So everything is ready now to start performing the actions and assigning orders to any activated officer. So then it goes on about the officer bit, but for this scenario, we're just going to leave things alone there. If anybody happens to be routed, then we will deal with that. But apart from that, we're just going to move on. So then, it's not necessary to use priority rules when performing actions with intel markers. In all these cases, you can proceed with assigned orders performing the given action. Okay. Hang on, is that just talking about intel markers then? Because they only have one assigned order. Yeah, because obviously they're just one, but each platoon could have a different order. This is also the case for AI companies with platoons that have received the same orders. In all these cases, you can proceed with the assigned orders performing the given action, and it's got them all there. But here we go. In some cases, forces with more than one assigned order on different targets must be activated. In these situations, the actions must be performed following the preset order for the executing order's priority chart C. Right. That's that one there. Yeah, so it's this chart here. So this is the way you'd, and this sort of didn't make things awful clear to me. Priority 1, art attack and AT attack. Well, we're not going to have any of that in this scenario. Priority 2, AT attack. We're not going to have any of that in this scenario. 3, art attack. We're not going to. So, well, in fact, we're just going to be down at remaining, and then we're going to carry the orders in that order. So, an AP attack will happen first. Now, if there's 2 that are going to do an AP attack, doesn't matter which one you do first. Use this chart first to check which conditions from the second column of the chart currently apply and determine which line in the chart to use. The third column will give the specific activation order and which actions must be performed. E.g., a company with 3 infantry platoons, the priority of actions is given by line 4. They can't attack with AT or RFF. Right, okay. Yeah, it's line 4. Then execute any AP attacks. After that come risky actions and so on. Right. Okay. Now that's quite clear actually. I don't know how I was struggling with that bit earlier. But that's fine. Okay, so and then we've got this big example which might be worth a read through again as well, just in case it does differentiate between different states of platoons. So, but coming back to here, and looking at orders chart K. So the thing is we've got 2 stacks of stuff here, and this is how it was decided. Well, each platoon should act differently, but these 2 platoons are in the same hex, we're in the same conditions. These are going to do exactly the same thing. We know the officer's not going to do anything, and if these happen to move, however, he'll move with them. Now, so they're going to get an order together. Well, yeah, and then, but in here, these both have a step loss. So, and then these are going to be looked at slightly differently because they've got the step loss. So we do look at that differently. Each platoon has 1 step loss each. So they're going to do the same thing. I mean, the only difference is one of them's a machine gun, one of them's not. So we come to here. Now this is, remember, medium activity level these have got. So that's in this section. So let's look at the 2 platoons that don't have any issues. And the officer, well, assuming they're going to move together. So we're in this area. Now, it is up to 3 hex to a player platoon. Yeah, I mean, they can't attack directly, these, because these are in their way. This is American, this is American, this is German, this is German. So, let's say the Finnish markers kind of get in the road a bit, but you've got to mark them. So we're looking here on this row here, and then which column? Well, it's going to be this one, because these platoons don't have any losses, so it's going to be here. So they're going to do either an assault or an attack. Now, I did forget previously, although I might have to bring that in this time, because there is some modifiers to the die roll, but because we've not been rolling this dice and we've just been allowing them to carry out the attack action, then that's what's what. So they would get an attack order, right? Now, I don't know if I carry on just now and give them their target, go through the flow chart or not. I suppose we should really do it that way, shouldn't we? Right, where's the flow chart? Is that on the back of the one that I'm looking at? I don't think it is. There's the attack order flow diagram. Right. So Well, let's just do them separately, because these other ones are going to be checking. Well, yeah, I mean, before I go to that, let's look at what the other ones. The other two platoons have got one step loss. Now, I think I read this wrong. If I just turn this around to look at these, when we were looking in this area here, I had said that because they've got two step losses, but it's platoon with one step loss and it's another platoon with one step loss. So it is going to be this column that they work on. And I also noticed that this one says platoons with 2 steps lost and out of command. So they would have to be out of command as well. So I can only assume that if they've got 2 steps lost, and they are in command, then we would be using that column. You know, because this does have an and. So, however, the 2 platoons that we're looking at both have 1 step loss. So they're both going to look down this column. So in actual fact, I think we can actually just mark them the same, because it is the same order, isn't it? So they've got platoons with 1 step lost. They do have they're still within 3. So you can see it's more likely they're cannon attack rather than assault. So it is this one. I think I was looking last night at this box here, but these are not. It says platoons with 2 steps lost. It's got to be each platoon that has the 2 steps lost that would carry this out, I think. They only have 1 step lost each. So they're both going to do the same. They're both going to do that. So in actual fact, that is going to be an attack as well, isn't it? Because, again, we're skipping by the assault side of things. And I know, it's... I shouldn't have done that, but we've started. We'll get this scenario finished, and then hopefully I can move on to the next one and bring the rules into things. So I mean, in actual fact, these should be marked with an attack marker as well. Now it's possible they might be attacking a different thing though. So, well, let's look at the flow chart now. So for the platoons that can't really attack, select target to attack, and that has to be, just without swinging the camera down, the closest hex occupied by player platoons that may be attacked with MFF. And then if there's different option, if there's more than one. So his closest hex occupied by player platoons that may be attacked with MFF. Well, that one and that one are the two possible targets. The thing is, I'm not going to be able to get to attack that one, whereas as I am with that one, I'm going to. With several options, first choose the hexes with a lower divisible value. I think that gets us out of it anyway. So, because this one's got a 5, this one's got a 3, so that's the lower one. So that is his target of the attack, right? I'm not going to put a marker on him yet, because he can't attack it. So we've got his target. Is the target to attack with MFF without movement? Well, no, it can't do it. It needs movement, so that's a no. Is it placed in defensive terrain? Yes, and yeah, this is the actual unit we're talking about moving. They are in the fields there. So yes. Does it have line of sight with other platoons and may not be attacked with MFF? Well, no, it doesn't have line of sight to other platoons and it may not be attacked. So that's a no. Comes down here. Defensive terrain available where attacking with MFF is possible. Well, actually, this time that is a no as well. Well, hold on. Defensive terrain available where attacking with MFF is possible. So he can move 1, 2, 3, 4 into there. That's him finished. He then can attack. Oh, hang on. He could attack from there with MFF. But these are not defensive terrain hexes. I mean, if he could get along to here, I would say yes. But I think it's meaning that can he move to there just now? if it was a yes, if we were saying that, I mean, you could eventually get to there, just not in the first turn, you know. But my thinking would be that it's meaning, can it move there now? Don't know. It doesn't quite make that clear. So if it was a yes, it would say safe movement. That would be a yes, and then it would move to that hex. See, it can't move to that hex. So I'm guessing that, I mean, it could move to this hex or this hex, and attack with MFF. But these are not defensive terrain because they're just a 2 value. So let's jump back to that and say no to that. Defensive terrain available where attacking with MFF. It's possible, no. Defensive mode, is it in defensive mode and resist greater than 0? No, they're in rush. So that's a no. May attack without MFF. No, I don't think. Yeah, no, that's a no as well. So it's actually placing a reaction marker then. Does that feel right? It's just not wanting to move into a non-defensive terrain hex. And I think it's got to be able to reach that right now. Because what is the point in then having this bit safe movement and then move to the hex? Move to that hex. Well, it can't reach that. It could attack with MFF from that hex, but it can't reach it. 1, 2, remember, it could double time. No, it can't because it's going to finish adjacent. And they only get, well, actually, hang on, they're 5, are they not? Yeah, I'm forgetting. It was only when they were intel marker they were 4. Have I blundered with that one? Let's hope not. So they've actually got 5 movement. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. But you can see that would be, it's another 2 to move into there and cross the, there's another 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So even if he could double time, he can't. Is there? I mean, they've got to be his targets because they are the closest to him. Yeah, I think we're going to actually mark him for reaction then, because he wanted to be attacking. So okay, I'm going to do that then. I don't think I need to mark that finished because well, actually I think they are well, yeah, when you put a reaction marker on them, I think they are classed as finished, but they can still react. It's just I can't get them to do anything else, isn't it? Hang on. I don't think it doesn't really need a finished marker. It just sits with its reaction. Now, if it was to react in this turn, or whenever it does react, it would just remove the reaction marker and be marked as finished. Now then, the AI at the end of the turn will not, because you can voluntarily remove these, but I'll keep it on. Thing is, when it comes down to activate this guy again, he doesn't just say, right, I've got a reaction marker and move on, and just leave the reaction marker there. He actually looks at the situation again, and he might carry out a different action, and then we would take this off and carry out his action. I think that's how that works. Okay, we'll go with that then. So now, different story for these guys. These guys are going to attack. They've got a target. Okay, so well, actually, which is their target? So it's closest hex that they can attack with MFF. They're attacking with, let's say 10 West 2 then. So they're attacking with 8. Now, is that right? Because that's going to be a 5, and that their machine gun's a 4 reduced by 1, so it's a 3. So it is 8 fire factors they've got. Now the MFF for that, is that not 10? Well, I should have it on this chart. 10, it's attacking with a divisor of 4 or 5. Yeah, because that's a 5. So he needs 10 to attack that. So that's a no-go. However, this is only a 3. And that's, I'm just looking at the top of that chart there. We want the minimum MFF. But with a 3, he only needs 8, and that's exactly what he's got. So that's deciding which target it's going to be. He's not going to attack this, he's going to attack this. Okay. Well, I think we can carry on. Look, I'm just going to remove this because I can see where sometimes you might need to put the markers on, but we know what we're doing here now. He's attacking there, so we can take that off. Right, so an attack of 8. Now we've got machine gun adjacent, so that's going to get a -2. He doesn't have the automatic weapons, not crossing bulkage. Now, do we have 6 steps in here? I don't think so. Machine gun's got a step also. There's only 5 steps in the hex, and it's a field hex, so divisor of 3. Right, where's our combat chart? Here it is. So on the 8 column, here we are, with a -2 for machine gun adjacent. No automatic fire. It's not passing through. It's not 6 steps. Yeah, it's just a -2 for the machine gun, I think. Yeah, okay. So on the 8 column with a -2. Is that right? Yeah. 7. That's another not bad roll. Well, it's in between, I suppose. 7, but well, the -2 takes it to 5. So I reckon this is going to be a hit. On the 8 column with a 5. That's 4. Yeah, that was 7 -2, 5. Yeah, so it is a 4. So 4 divided by 3 is going to be a 1. So he is hitting 1. And well, it's going to be the platoon on the top because the machine gun's already taken a hit. So that platoon takes a hit. And that's that. Well, the only thing that could interfere with that is, I want to say that's 2 step losses there. This is this foxtrot, isn't it? Hang on. Yeah. Yeah, we've already took a morale check for these, didn't we? Because this one has taken 2 step losses. And this has taken 2 step losses. That's 4. And so there was 5 step losses taken in total. And now I've took another one for 6. So it means that their morale drops by another 1. So it's dropping by 2 now, and we've got to do a morale check. Yuck. So the morale check's going to be 7 pluses, that's 8, but -2, so the morale check's going to be on a 6 here. So this is getting risky. So 2d6, and we need to roll a 6 or less. Now, have I got that right? Let me just double check again. Yeah, so just double checking. So morale is reduced by 1 for each step lost above that surpasses the amount of platoons that started. So anything above 4, we get less morale, and we've got 6 step losses now, so he's going to get a -2. Officers' morale was 7 plus his leadership's 8. -2 is a 6, so we need a 6 or less here. Oh dear. Right, so we've got an 8, so we went 2 above the roll. So, alright, let's bring this in then. So yeah, roll 2d6. If the result obtained is less than or equal to, well, it wasn't, then nothing happens. If the result is greater than the company's morale, then the company fails the morale check, and the effects depend on the difference between the roll and the morale of the company. So the difference was 2. If the roll is greater than morale by 1 to 4, the company is routed, a marker is placed on the affected platoons, and they must rout as described in chapter 9.3, which is just over the page there. Right, so, well, shouldn't we just look at this first? Let me shift that out of the way. Sorry, I'm getting myself in a muddle here. So rout. Right, so and it does affect the whole company, doesn't it? The company is routed. A marker is placed on the affected platoons, and they must route as described in Chapter 9.3. Okay. So a company or platoon, I mean, in this case it has to be the company. I think it's only the platoon if he's away by his own or something. Yeah, because it does. The company is routed. Yeah, I think it would only be a platoon if we were doing a platoon morale check, which is different. Yeah, seems to make sense, doesn't it? So, a company or platoon immediately after being marked as routed must conduct routed movement. In subsequent turns, it may not move or become activated except if fired upon. Such cases that act as described in Chapter 9.3.2. Routed platoons may not conduct defensive fire. Okay. Once rallied, routed platoons regain their normal abilities. Right. So, routed movement. A company or platoon immediately after being marked as routed must move away from the hex that caused the rout. That's to say, the hex the fire came from that caused step loss and led to the failed morale check. All platoons and officers stacked in the same hex must move as a group. This movement must be performed even if the company or platoon has been previously marked as finished, which they were. After that, the routed company or platoon retreats towards its baselines, that is to say towards its side of the board, 3 hexes. So hang on, it drops back 1, must move away from the hex that caused the rout. So they move away 1 and then move away another 3 hexes, or is it 3 in total? 3 hexes, including the first retreated hex mentioned, right? Yeah, just read on, Grant. You'll get there. The side of the board belonging to each player will be given by the scenario notes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Well, we're over the west side and they are on the east, aren't they? Does it tell? Yeah, American map edge is west, German map edge is east, yeah. I don't know why, I didn't really need to look for that, did I? So, a platoon's movement is considered to be towards its lines when the platoon leaves its hex through one of the 2 or 3, depending on the hex grid size of the hex nearest to its side of the board. Routed company or platoon is automatically eliminated after its movement in 2 cases. So that's when it's forced to move into prohibited terrain or off the board, or if it moves through or stops in a hex adjacent to enemy platoons. It may not move close. Yeah, there's a couple of conditions there. Don't want to go too much into that. And then we've got fire against routed platoons. Right, okay, so I think we can deal with this now. So yeah, this has been a bad turn. So these are part of the company as well, so these are marked routed as well. So does it just move straight back? I guess it's got to move further away, yeah. Yeah, because I mean, if I go 1, 2, 3, that's me going as far back as I can. Whereas if I'm trying to be clever and go 1, 2, 3, this hex is closer to my edge, so I think I've got to keep it that way. So I'm going to do that. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 for that, and then just straightforward the same for this. Now that's going to get left behind. 1, 2, 3 for them as well. So yeah, this is horrible, isn't it? We'll leave a little green cube behind there because that is under our control for the moment. And then I also need some, probably just 2 routed markers then. I'll put them back on just now. But right, so these are all routed, and I'm assuming the officer's routed as well. It's the whole company. So to get us out of this mess, what we've got to do is, when we activate them again, we've got to use the officer to hopefully rally himself, then he can rally the units in that hex. But these are not going to be able to get rallied until the officer then moves into the hex, I think that's the way it works. However, I remember reading the rules, and it says you can rally that officer, then immediately you can attempt to rally anyway, the units in the stack with it. So you would be able to do that right away. So yeah, just still a little unsure if both stacks should have been routed, but I think it is. I mean, it seems clear there. I don't know why I guess it's just because they aren't in the same hex, but once an action triggers a company morale check, which is what happened because any of its platoons receives hits and the total number of casualties suffered by the company exceeds the total number of platoons that make it up at the start of the battle, not counting the officer. A single check is performed each time it occurs, regardless of the number of steps in which it is exceeded. If they are hit in subsequent attacks, their morale will be checked in the same way. And that's what we've done. They got another step loss. They then had to check the morale, reducing their morale by another 1, by 2 in total, because of the extra step loss. Yeah. Once an action triggers a company morale check, the affected player has to carry out the following procedure. Roll 2d6. If it's less than or equal to, nothing happens. If the result is greater than the company's morale, then the company fails a morale check, and the effects depend on the difference between the roll and the morale of the company. If it's between 1 and 4, the company is routed. A marker is placed on the affected platoons, and they must rout as described in chapter 9.3. Right, no mention of the officer there, but I guess it's got to be the whole lot. I mean, a company or platoon is immediately after being marked as routed must conduct routed movement. Yeah, no mention of it, not including the officer or anything like that. I think it's a company route, so that's it. It's a whole lot. Okay, let's go with that then. So they've done their thing pretty well again. I'm going to be marked finished. However, that's everybody finished now anyway, isn't it? So I'm going to take these off. And yeah, I think that's going to be the end of the turn. Well, I tell you what, we're in a lot of trouble, I think. I don't think that turn went well at all. And I get the feeling they're still going to be at rush 4 or maybe even higher, so they're still going to get the 2 high activity level markers, which I was hoping to maybe reduce that to just 1, but I don't think that turn went well enough to... Well, we'll work that out come the start of the next turn. So I'm only at 33 minutes here, but let's just finish this turn, and I'll probably just... Because I can't really do an awful lot more than this. So to remove all the finish markers, we're finishing the turn, so let's get them off the map. Alright, so that's all the finish markers. Now reaction markers, it says remove reaction markers if you wish, but it does state in the AITS rules that they always keep them on. It makes more sense. Like I say, they can still carry out a different action if they want. I think they don't need to sit there and with the reaction marker on come the next time they get to activate. I think that's how it works. And then, so everything else, the routed markers obviously stay. The reaction markers stay, and these are going to come off. Now, these might be different next turn, but I'll just leave them lying there just now. And we move the turn track to turn number 4. Yeah, I think that's all. Let me just double check I've done that right. Yeah, once activation phase is over, at conclude the turn, both players will remove all out of command markers from platoons that have moved into command range. Well, that's the other thing about keeping that officer with that, because we want to keep them in command, don't we? All finish markers which have done, if desired, reaction markers. If I look in the solo sequence of play here, which is on page 6. Marker removal phase, all out command markers, all finish markers. If desired, reaction markers from the player side. Activity level Yeah, activity level markers assigned to any AI forces are removed from the map or the HQ board. Remove them. And it finishes by telling you the AI side always keeps its reaction markers, so rotate these markers in order to distinguish them from any new reaction markers placed during the new game turn. Right, I'll do that. I'm not fully understanding the reasoning for that, but I'll turn them upside down. Put it upside down. There we go. I'm sure it'll become clear when I do it. If I was to put another reaction marker on, we need to know if it's... Well, yeah. I'll tell you why. It's just what I've said, because let's just say we start the turn and this gets a reaction marker on it and we put it on, and this one was still turned round the right way. You then would get mixed up thinking that you'd put this reaction marker on this turn, and that's not the case, because if you'd put on this turn, you couldn't give this another activity, you couldn't give it an action, whereas because it's upside down and got put on last turn, I can give it a different action. I think that's what it's all about. So I suppose technically as the player side could do that as well. Okay, so that's going to be another short part. They're getting shorter. Yeah, because I don't think I've not got time to start anymore. So moving on to turn 4, 5 and 6. So that's us halfway through the game now. And although we've got control of these 3, you can see that this one's now kind of vulnerable. Whether we maybe make a move into it again, try and sort these guys out. That's all we can do, really. And yeah, just keep at it, I suppose. I guess it's one of these scenarios where we're just bashing each other about and hoping to get the better die rolls, really. Yeah? But the problem for us against the AI is the fact that they're getting 2 shots at it sometimes. In fact, more often than not, they're getting 2 shots at it, which is clearly going to be. And then their die rolls that turn were kind of ridiculous. I think they had 2 or 3 rolls where it was like a 3 and a 4 they rolled, didn't they? So you're going to get bad things happening for that. Okay, I will just cut this as a part and leave it for now. Won't get back tonight, I very much doubt. I'm in late from work. And yeah, kind of got stuff on tomorrow, so I'm sure I'll get a little shot later on. But yeah, I'll get a couple of shots over the weekend and see if we can take this further. I'm still hanging in there with it. I think I came on last night saying I wasn't sure if it was for me and whatever, but I'm still okay with it. It's just maybe not giving me... I'm always keen to come back though and press record and keep it moving. So I'm keen to get it played. I'm just not sure if it's fully my thing and if it's really holding my attention, as well as some other stuff that I played. But we shall see though. We shall see. This is clearly the most simplest scenario. It's been scenario 1, so I should probably give it a chance, and hopefully I will give it a chance and get on to the next scenario and bring the assault rules in particular and some of the other rules that were being bypassing. Right, I'll get away for now, and I'll be back tomorrow hopefully. Cheers.